What if I tell you that a simple $1 bill in your pocket can be worth far more than $1, and not just a little more, but sometimes hundreds, thousands, and in very rare cases even tens of thousands of dollars? Most people never check their money. They spend it fast. But collectors look very closely at every detail, and that is where hidden value comes from. Today we are looking at one specific note, the serial number E80680986G. At first it looks normal, but when you understand how value works in paper money, you will see why even a normal-looking note can become special. Stay with this full video, because the real value is not only in this one note, but in what you will learn to spot in every note you get in the future. The most important thing to understand is that paper money value does not come from age alone. Many people think older means more valuable, but that is not always true. A modern note can be worth more than an old note if it has the right features. Collectors care about three main things: the serial number, printing errors, and condition. If a note has even one strong feature, its value can increase. If it has two or more features together, the value can rise much higher. This is why checking every detail matters. Now look at the serial number E80680986G. The letters at the start and end are part of the system used by the Federal Reserve. The letter at the start shows which bank issued the note. The letter at the end helps track printing batches. These letters by themselves do not add big value, but they help identify the note. The real focus is the number in the middle, 80680986. When you study it slowly, you can see that some numbers repeat. The digits 8, 0, and 6 appear more than once. This creates a soft pattern. It is not a perfect pattern, but it is not fully random either. Collectors use the term fancy serial number for notes that have patterns. There are many types. Solid numbers like are very rare and very valuable. Ladder numbers like E80680986G are also rare. Radar numbers read the same forward and backward, like E80680986G. Repeater numbers repeat in blocks, like E80680986G. Your serial number is not one of the strongest types, but it has a light repeating feel. This places it in a lower-level fancy category. These types usually do not reach thousands of dollars, but they can still sell for more than face value, especially if the note is in very good condition. Condition is one of the biggest value factors. A note that is clean, flat, and crisp is always more valuable than a note that is folded, torn, or dirty. Collectors use grades like circulated and uncirculated. Circulated notes have been used in daily life. Uncirculated notes look almost new, with sharp corners and no folds. If your note E80680986G is in uncirculated condition, its value can increase even if the serial number is only mildly interesting. If it is heavily used, the value stays close to $1. Another very important factor is printing errors. This is where real money can be made. Printing errors happen when something goes wrong during production. The United States prints billions of notes, and machines are used at high speed. Small mistakes can happen. When they do, they create rare notes. Collectors pay high prices for clear and strong errors. Some common error types include misaligned printing, where parts of the design are not in the correct place. There are also ink errors, where color is missing or too strong. Some notes have double prints, where the design appears twice. There are cutting errors, where the edges are not even. A very rare and valuable error is a missing serial number or missing seal. These can sell for hundreds of dollars or more. Another strong error is when the front and back of the note do not line up correctly. These types of errors are easy to see and highly desired by collectors. If your note has any of these, the value can jump quickly. Even a normal serial number note can become valuable if the error is strong enough. There are also star notes. A star note is printed to replace a damaged note during production. Instead of a normal letter at the end of the serial number, there is a star symbol. These notes are usually printed in smaller numbers. Some star notes are common, but others are rare. Rare star notes, especially from low print runs, can be worth much more than face value. Your note does not have a star, but this is something you should always check in other notes. Another factor is print run size. Some notes are printed in very large numbers, while others are printed in smaller batches. Notes from smaller batches are harder to find. This makes them more desirable. When collectors know that fewer notes exist, they are willing to pay more. This information is usually checked using serial number lookup tools or collector databases. If a note comes from a rare run, even a simple design can become valuable. Now let's talk about real prices to give you a clear idea of value. Some normal-looking $1 bills with strong fancy serial numbers have sold for hundreds of dollars. Notes with very rare patterns have sold for over $1,000. Error notes with clear mistakes have sold for $2,000 or more. There are also rare cases where unique combinations of errors and serial numbers have reached several $1,000s. These are not common, but they show what is possible. It is important to stay realistic. Not every note will be valuable. Many people think they have a rare note, but most notes are common. The difference comes from clear features. A weak pattern is not enough. A small ink spot is not enough. Value comes from strong and clear differences that are easy to see. If you are not sure, comparing your note with known examples is the best step. Now go back to your serial number E80680986G. The pattern is mild. It has some repeating digits, but it is not a full repeater or radar. This means it does not fall into the high-value category based on serial number alone. But that does not mean it has no value at all. In good condition, it can still be of interest to beginner collectors. If it has no errors and normal wear, the value is close to $1. If it is very clean and crisp, it could reach a few dollars more. If it has a clear printing error, then the value can increase a lot depending on the type of error. To check your note properly, you should look at it under good light. Check both sides carefully. Look at the serial numbers to see if they are straight and aligned. Check the green seal to see if it is clear and centered. Look at the edges of the note to see if they are cut evenly. Feel the paper to see if it is crisp or soft. These simple steps can help you find hidden value. Many collectors also use magnification tools like a small lens. This helps to see fine details in the print. Sometimes errors are small but still valuable. A close check can reveal things that are not visible at first glance. Taking clear pictures of the note can also help when asking for opinions from collectors or sellers. Another useful tip is to store valuable notes properly. Do not fold them. Keep them in protective sleeves. Avoid water and dirt. Good storage keeps the condition high, and condition directly affects value. A note that is kept safe can be worth much more in the future. The market for paper money is always active. Collectors are always looking for new pieces. Online auctions and collector groups are places where notes are bought and sold. Prices can change based on demand. A note that is not very popular today can become more valuable later if collectors start looking for it. This is why some people keep interesting notes instead of spending them. It is also important to understand grading. Professional grading services check notes and give them a grade based on condition. A graded note is placed in a protective holder and given a number score. Higher scores mean better condition. Graded notes often sell for more because buyers trust the grade. If you believe your note has strong value, grading can be an option. When people hear about rare notes selling for thousands, they often think every note has that chance. But those high prices usually come from very rare features. Things like perfect patterns, very low serial numbers, or strong printing errors. Your note does not show these top-level features based on the serial alone, but checking for errors is still very important. Another detail to understand is that numbers like E80680986G or E80680986G are extremely rare and very valuable. Notes with very low numbers or very high numbers are always in demand. Birthday numbers, like dates, can also be interesting to some collectors. These small details create different levels of demand in the market. Even though your note is not in the top category, learning from it gives you a big advantage. Most people never check their money. Once you start checking, you increase your chances of finding something valuable. Every note you receive becomes a new opportunity. There are also collectors who focus only on certain types of notes. Some collect only star notes. Some collect only error notes. Some collect notes from specific years or series. This creates many small markets inside the larger market. A note that one collector ignores may be very important to another. In simple terms, value comes from how rare and how different a note is. The more it stands out, the higher the value. If it looks like every other note, the value stays low. Your job is to find what makes a note different. When checking notes, do not rush. Take your time. Look at each part carefully. Practice makes it easier. After checking many notes, you will start to notice patterns quickly. What looks normal at first will start to show details. The serial number E80680986G is a good example for learning. It shows how a note can look normal but still have small features worth checking. It teaches you to look beyond the surface. Even if this note is not highly valuable, the skill you gain from checking it can help you find a better one later. Always remember that strong value usually comes from clear and rare features. A perfect pattern, a strong error, or a rare print run. These are the things that can turn a $1 bill into a valuable collectible. Without these, the value stays close to face value. So the key takeaway is simple. Check every note. Look at the serial number. Look for patterns. Look for errors. Check the condition. Store it safely if it looks interesting. Compare it with known examples. And if you find something unusual, do not spend it quickly. By following these steps, you increase your chances of finding a note that is worth more than its face value. Most notes will not be rare, but some will be. And those few can make a big difference. Keep learning, keep checking, and always pay attention to details. That is how collectors find hidden value in everyday money.